The high-level meeting prepared by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, with participation from the United Nations member states, regional organizations, and the UN partners, with the aim to draw international attention to the humanitarian crisis in South Sudan. The First Vice-President Taban Deng Gai detailed to the high-level meeting the achievement being culminated by the Transitional Government of National Unity to restore peace and unity to the people of South Sudan. General Taban calls on the partners to the peace agreement to allow access to the humanitarian agencies.
All of us have tried to solve out this issue. We are allowing the relief agencies into a dead zone, but the fact that they don't allow us to protect them is an issue that needs to be addressed. In this regard, we wish to appreciate our Uganda, Kenya, Sudan, and Ethiopia, who have opened up their territories to host South Sudanese refugees and opened several humanitarian corridors. On the relationship with UNOCH, the Transitional Government of National Unity has a good working relationship with UNOCH and also committed to full deployment of the RPF. Considering the UNOCH leadership on effectively using RPF outside Juba, the idea of deploying RPF, it was meant for Juba. But as I'm speaking to you now, Juba is much secure. We don't want also to waste resources. We don't want to deploy 4,000 troops where they have nothing to do. I hope we shall agree one day with David so that we can also use these RPF forces in places like highway, protection of convoys, relief convoys, and also we may consider deployment of RPF in a more flashy areas like Yei, like Kaji, for example.
And the United Nations Under Secretary General for the Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator, Max Lowchok, said the humanitarian need in South Sudan to prevent the famine continue to remain a challenge. He appealed to additional flexible and need-based funding to South Sudan Humanitarian Response Plan and the South Sudan's Regional Refugees Response Plan, which remain underfunded.
The discussions there, backed up by resilience type of support, means that peace on the ground will have a greater chance of not only continuing but also supporting the local groups to stop them going back into conflict. And lastly, can I just say and thank the international community that is here, that has provided the humanitarian assistance but has also provided support to UNOCH on the ground, and go along with Filippo in thanking those countries that are bordering South Sudan for their extraordinary generosity in ensuring that people have a safe place to go to. Thank you very much.
All efforts are to be made to promote and protect human rights, particularly for women and children. Hunger and malnutrition have reached unprecedented levels. More than 4 million are food insecure. More than 1 million children under 5 are estimated to be acutely malnourished. That is unacceptable.
Uganda, Kenya, and Norway ministers of foreign affairs reaffirmed their government commitment to support South Sudan people at the very hectic situation of war and hunger.
One thing I'd like to make clear here. Uganda does not deliberately make it comfortable for refugees. No, we do not make it comfortable for refugees. Let refugees come to Uganda. We think that refugees have a responsibility to feed themselves, to clothe themselves, to take responsibilities for their lives themselves. Hence, after a while, we give them land, so they get tilting the land, producing their own food, selling it, making money, buying clothes for themselves, and paying for their medicines, and taking the responsibility just like the host community.
We're grateful. We hope that we all continue to be generous and to support the people of South Sudan who desperately need your help. I think we've heard the stories about children without food, about women who are totally desperate, and they continue to count on the international community for support. And so we want to thank you as people from that region for your generosity. We also want to
We will continue our work with the US and the UK in the Troika, and our cooperation with IGAD and the AU, the UN, and the rest of the international community. While the international community stands ready to assist, it is the leaders of South Sudan themselves who have to act to stop the current humanitarian crisis and also have to end this winner-takes-it-all mentality. In a country where there are so many different ethnic groups, you have to have an inclusive environment and you have to accept that another ethnic group also will have influence.
United Nations member states, regional organizations, UN partners, and members of the civil society expressed their concern to bring to an end the chaotic situation of South Sudan. The world leaders today elaborate point on how they will bring the peaceful solution to the Republic of South Sudan. The leaders talk on the key issues concerning the situation of the IDPs and the refugees that are in other countries like Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Sudan. Reporting for South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, UN General Headquarters in New York, Port Johnson, Matura, Kenya.